This year is a very special year for all of us. This is a golden jubilee year. The institution is celebrating our 50th year. We are welcoming the 50th batch of MBA programs. We are welcoming the 50th batch and the largest ever batch the institute has ever seen. We are over 600 students who are coming in. Welcome to each one of you. I'm sure all of you must have been happy, proud of having made it here. And I think this is a great occasion to cherish. This is possibly one of your most special days that you've been looking forward to, at least for the last few years when you have started dreaming about being here. And this gives me a great pleasure to be welcoming you all into this program. 2023 is also a very beautiful year. Numerically, 2023 is what is called as a number. 2023 is also a Harshad number. If you know what a Harshad number is a number that's divisible by the sum of its digits. More than important than that, Harshad, the word Harshad in Sanskrit, means somebody who gives joy, a joy-giving number. So to that level, 2023, and I wish and I pray for everyone, each one of you, and for the institution, this year provides us immense amount of joy, immense amounts of fulfillment, happiness, and may all our wishes come true. I'm joined in the dais with our chief guest. Thank you, Rashmi, for joining us. And let me quickly introduce Rashmi to you. Rashmi Mohanty is the Chief Financial Officer at SBI Credit Cards. In a professional career spanning 27 years, no, she says 30 years. She keeps remembering that she was here in the same place 30 years ago exactly here. She has worked across banking, non-banking, metal, mining sector. Her areas of expertise include corporate finance, treasury, investor relations, corporate strategy, and risk management. She's worked for Vedanta Limited, GE Capital, Deutsche Bank, Clicks Capital, Religare, and has been instrumental in setting up and leading large treasury and finance functions. She's a computer science engineer from Delhi Institute of Technology, now named NSIT, and a PGP from IIM Bangalore. Rashmi has been a speaker at various industry forums and conferences covering varied topics on financial markets, NBFC, women in industry. She's also taken guest lectures on financial markets, derivatives, and M&A at various business schools. She's a practicing Buddhist and a fitness enthusiast. She is passionate about long-distance running and has participated in various marathon and ultra-marathon races in India and abroad. She's one of the first few women ultra-runners in India and has done many 100K races. Right? That's not a typo. It's 100K races. Okay. It's a pleasure to have Rashmi. The moment we reached out to Rashmi that we want you as the chief guest for the evening, she readily agreed to be here and be part of this function.
Good evening, Dr. Krishnan, Professor Srinivasan, Professor Mishra, Professor Mukherjee, and all the dignitaries here. And a big congratulations to you all that you've made it finally here. It's an honor to be welcoming you to this prestigious institute. And also, I'm very greatly pleased that I'm here today when amongst the distinguished alumni that are being honored here is my batchmate Ashok Reddy. Congrats, Ashok. You've been a pioneer and continue to be the leader in the staffing solution industry. So congratulations. And I also congratulate Abhijit and Samina for their accomplishments as well. As Professor Srinivasan mentioned, exactly 30 years ago, June of 1993, I entered the institution. A bit confused as to how I managed to get here. I was a bright student, but still, I didn't believe my luck. Nervous because it was my first time away from home. And completely intimidated by the very bright, smart minds all around me. My entry into IIM and my early career years were what I call as by default. I come from a middle-class family. The parents instilled a very strong discipline, academic discipline, because that was supposed to be the door opener for us. I'm the eldest of the 3 daughters. And so unknowingly, I also assumed the task of creating enablers for my sisters as well. And I was a good student. So by default, chose science. I did not like biology. I was very bad with drawings, even with a scale. So medical, engineering, drawing were out of the picture. And so I ended up doing computer science engineering. In the final year, everybody in my batch was appearing for CAT. And so I said, why not me as well? I got through. And then in June of 1993, as I said earlier, I landed up here. But not a clue of what am I going to be doing after these 2 years. Honestly, I just did not have a clue. But what I did do in those 2 years was enjoyed and studied some very varied subjects, some completely new to the engineer in me. Marketing, consumer behavior, economics, international finance, and I also had fun along the way. Block parties, Diwali and Holi celebrations. I met my husband here. So this OAT and this library, I have very fond memories of this place, and both of these places have a very special place in both our lives. And while I did have a clue that this degree is going to change my life, but honestly, the way it opened doors for me, I didn't know the extent of that while I was studying here. So here I am today to relive the last 30 years. What I'm going to tell you is not something new, but I just hope that with examples from my life, you will get that hope and that courage and a proof that what I'm saying are not just mere words, they're not just cliches, but if you really do put in your effort, and if you really are sincere about what you want to achieve, you can get there. You'll also have the privilege to listen into the other distinguished alumni. My only thing that I'll tell you is listen, take what resonates, and just leave the rest behind. You've all worked hard here, and I think Professor Mishra gave out all those statistics, how many people kind of applied, how many got through, and there's a lot of hard work that's gone in. The big sacrifices you people must have made, all those missed pizza outings, movie outings, outstation trips with friends, cancelled dates, and whatnot. What you've also done is study hard, you've pored over your textbooks, you've had those discussions, and you've accomplished that you are here today sitting with all of us here. So congratulations to you all once again, and I think you all really deserve a big round of applause for yourself. So go ahead, clap for yourself. But why you? Why are you here? Why did you make the cut in an interview and nobody else? Because the professors and some of the alumni who actually joined on the panel as well saw that potential in you. And what I can tell you today is that this institution has that power to unleash that potential in you and to transform you into the best version of yourself. And 2 years from now, you will be standing in the long line of men and women who've been here and then have gone ahead to distinguish themselves and the institute. So buckle up. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, I can assure you of that. It'll test your mettle. It'll challenge you. It will test some of your preconceived notions. Professor Srinivasan and Director Krishnan have already kind of alluded to the kind of setup that you're going to get exposed to. But in that whirlwind of case studies, just-in-time project submissions, that last-minute studying for the exam, and those innumerous coffee breaks, I can assure you the journey is going to be completely well worth it. What you will get is an expanded mind. What you will get is a set of exceptional skills. And what you will get is a membership into a community of brilliant individuals, people sitting next to you. So study hard, enjoy, have all the fun. And here are a few things that I'd like you to remember as you do that. 1, what you've achieved up till now is behind you. You've turned a new page, and that page is blank. And you have the chance to now write your script for the future. To those of you sitting here who have an idea as to what they want to do with their life, congratulations. But to those who still have to figure it all out, it's fine, it's okay. I was in the same chair as you people are, with not a clue as to what am I going to be doing after 2 years. At the end of my 2 years here, again, in a very by default mode, influenced by my batchmates, lured by the glam of a foreign bank job, I joined Deutsche Bank. The bank had a competitive selection process to select management trainees to join the global markets division, the much coveted global markets division. I made the cut and joined the global markets division as well. The money was good, really good, I can tell you that. There was a respect that the batchmates had for us for having made it. But it was a personal situation few years later that made me leave the bank, join as a treasurer for an organization, and as they say, find my calling. The treasurer's role, it required me to take decisions for the balance sheet. It made me accountable for my decisions. I used to structure solutions. And the high that I got from structuring those solutions, getting my decision right, it was just huge. The satisfaction, the happiness was unsurmountable. So here's what I want to tell you. Enjoy the process of your search. Don't succumb to any peer pressure. Reflect on topics that ignite your curiosity. What are your natural talents? Take on internships, projects, industry assignments in the areas of your field. More importantly, look for role models and mentors in the area of your interest as to what have they done and how have they reached that position. And if you can't, and your inexperience leads you to pick up somebody else's choice, it's fine. Go ahead, use that experience to learn about yourself, pivot, because that's exactly what I did. I started my career in the financial capital of India, Mumbai. I moved to Delhi 3 years later for a personal reason, and I was told there is no way I can build a successful finance career if I'm not in Mumbai. Of the 28 years of my corporate career, I've spent 25 years in Delhi NCR. In these years, I've built a huge network in the finance fraternity across the country. I've led treasury, investor relations for 2 large NBFCs, a very large metal and mining company. And today, I'm the CFO of a public listed entity. And by the way, that's another myth buster. MBAs don't make CFOs. Only accountants make CFOs. That's not the case. I am standing here. I'm an MBA, and I'm a CFO of a large listed company. So ignore those noises that tell you it can't be done. Chart your own path. Be open to explore different opportunities and be willing to adapt as you discover new passions and interests or as you face constraints, just the way I did, of a location. To the young ladies here, there's another constraint we are made aware of, our gender. We're reminded of glass ceilings. We're congratulated when we achieve something big, when we rise with our smart work. The ceiling is imaginary. As a woman, we are wired differently. We have our nuances. We are suckers for emotion. We are constantly on a guilt trip. Many of you young ladies, when you kind of move up in life, you get a family, have kids, you will realize what I'm saying. And there are these some days in the month when we're a little slow. But I can only tell you that if you put in the effort, you work smart, there is nothing that can stop you from succeeding. So go on, make that big bang. To the people who believe there's a glass ceiling, it's the glass shattering. And for you all, it's the applause of your success. Go make that difference. But it's not easy. You will have to make sacrifices along the way and get ready to make those sacrifices. The only thing I'm going to say is that make sure that your sacrifices are worth what you're going to get. In one of my roles, I used to travel Delhi, Mumbai every week. People used to ask me, was it worth it? Totally. I was enjoying the work that I was doing. But did it mean less time with my family? Possibly. And that leads me to the next point. There will be points in your life when you'll have to take those tough choices. You have to make those tough decisions. Evaluate. Seek guidance. Put down your priorities. Understand what is it that's important for you at that point in life. And once you've taken those decisions, trust that it was the right decision given the situation. The job that I traveled for, the Delhi-Mumbai thing, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I used my experience, my knowledge, my network, my relationship, and I navigated the company out of a very difficult cycle. But 5 years later, I quit that job to spend more time with my kids. As was the decision to take up that role difficult, equally difficult was the decision to actually quit that role as well. But both were done keeping in mind my priorities at that point in time. So all I'm going to say is, turn the page, don't have regrets. The other thing I'm often asked is, did I plan my career? I didn't. And let me also tell you, career paths are rarely linear. I mean, I still have some batchmates of mine who are continuing in that. They are very lucky. But usually you'll find that career paths are not linear. You will have to pivot, you will have to find your way as to what suits you best. When I started my career as a banker, I just had no idea that 28 years later I would have crossed over to the corporate world and would be a CFO of a listed entity. But what I can tell you is that every time I changed a job, every time I took on a new role, there were few things that I kept in mind. One, can I add value to this role? Will I learn from this role? Does this role make me nervous? Will it challenge me? Do I get butterflies every time I think that I'm going to be in that seat very soon and I'll have to do something different, something bigger? Salary, perks, benefits, they're all byproducts. And I can tell you from my experience, it all averages out in the end. There will be occasions you will have to let go of your perks and your benefits, give away that big car, because the kind of job that you want to do and the kind of job that makes you happy doesn't offer that. There will be times when people are going to pay you for your experience and your knowledge, and you will be flourishing. But it's the challenge and the quality of your work which finally will make you happy, will make you satisfied. As a CFO, I sign off financial statements, and one of the requirements there is that I have to ensure that all items reported are as per the accounting standards. Now, I am not an accountant. I haven't read accounting standards. So when this offer came along, did it make me nervous? Absolutely, yes. But I did take that on. And I can only tell you that I'm learning still. What gave me confidence was the success I'd had in the past, a belief in my abilities, that I will be able to live well. I knew that I'll have to put in a little bit of an extra work to succeed in this role, but I took it on. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Overcome your fears. Okay. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Step outside of that periphery. Step out and take on that challenge. And always seek strength from your triumphs and your victories to move ahead boldly. Use these 2 years to develop the skills that you lack or are weak at. Identify those fears that hold you back, be it public speaking, be it networking, taking risks. So if you are a shy person, be that volunteer for the group presentation to say, I'll take that job in and I'm the one who's going to be presenting this for the group project. And acquire knowledge in areas you've been interested in, but you think this isn't for me. If it's entrepreneurship that you want to go for, pursue that. If you want to move into the field of finance from liberal arts, go for it, I would say. Go for it. Okay. And how can you do that? For that, you'll have to be a lifelong learner. And I can tell you from experience that there are people who are not the smartest. They're not the most diligent either. But they are learning machines. And I think Director Krishnan, Professor Srinivasan, they've all talked about how you just need to continuously be aware of what's happening around you. Be a seeker, continue to learn. And embrace, and especially in this ever-changing business landscape, you really have to be on your toes. You have to really know what's going on here. You actually have a benefit of not having a course curriculum and professors who are actually going to teach you some courses, but you have a vast ocean of knowledge and experience sitting just next to you. So leverage that. There are people who've come in here from different streams. I know 80% plus are engineers. That was the case in our batch as well, but they're from different streams, so use their knowledge. If you're a fresher, Interact with somebody who's come here with an experience to get an understanding of what corporate world is all about. What does it feel to be out there working? What kind of challenges that you face? And Director Krishnan talked about people management. Maybe that's something they've been already exposed to. So besides your courses, learn from them. And the other thing is that your learning will not just happen in the classrooms. Your organization skills, your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, all will be tested outside the classroom. Your negotiation and persuasion skills will be tested the most. Get together in a group and try and get an agreement on the topic for your group project, and that's when you will remember what I've just told you. And may the best man or woman win there. There's another thing I'd like to tell you. I was in Goa last weekend for a batch reunion. So I'm coming fresh from nostalgia of meeting our friends from long back, re-energized and refreshed. I met a few of them after a very long time, after a gap of 28 years. But we reconnected as if that gap was never there. So I ask you to look around yourself. There are people in this crowd who are your future colleagues, industry leaders, I don't know, friends who actually will lead large organizations tomorrow, create multi-billion-dollar companies, or maybe make a mark for themselves in the social sector. These are people sitting here with you who will be there to share your joys of your first promotion, or who will sit with you and twiddle with all the nice little buttons when you take them for a ride in your first Mercedes, or maybe a BMW, whatever your choice is, right? These are people you will run through if you're having a good day, people you will run to if you're having a bad day. So build those bonds in these 2 years. It's a bond which will last you a lifetime, and you will leverage it. You will need them the most in your best occasions and in your most difficult occasions. And if one of them actually becomes the CFO of a credit card company, you will know where to rush to. If you have to get your late fee waived off, or you have to get your credit records cleaned, you know where we'll have to rush to. And lastly, I want to talk about passion and having a hobby. It is said that one should have 3 hobbies. A hobby that keeps you fit, a hobby that keeps you creative, lets you be creative, and a hobby that helps you network. At the age of 38, I picked up a hobby which was all rolled up into one and is now a passion. I think Professor Srinivasan introduced me by telling you all what I do, what I love doing. I run ultra-marathon distances. I don't know if you're familiar what an ultra-marathon distance is. A marathon is a 42.2 kilometers, and anything over that is an ultra-marathon distance. Depending on the distance, depending on the terrain, whether it is hilly, it's flat, it's a road or a trail, you could be out there running from anywhere from 10 hours to 30 hours or maybe more. Running's made me fit, but then it has also given me a mindset which tells me that I can take on anything that comes my way. It's an attitude of saying, bring it on. The training leading to the race day and the training itself is like any book on life coaching. The lessons that you learn are deep, they're life-changing, and they're very rewarding. I've learned my lessons doing some crazy distances of 100 kilometer plus. And in those sleepless hours at night when you're running alone on a jungle track, when you are ready to give up and yet you keep going, there are some very hard lessons that you learn. It's also a very brutal sport, but it's the most humbling activity that you will ever get to experience. When I was running in Kodaikanal a couple of years back, I'd finished all my water, I was alone, and I actually found a villager's hut, a dilapidated hut, and this person gave me water, he gave me shade to sit in. And you know how city people are? I offered him some money and he refused. And I just looked like a fool doing that. So it's the most humbling thing that you will ever experience. And I've got lots more stories to talk about and lessons that I've learned. So if anybody's interested, post-session, come and connect with me. There's lots that I can share with you. But the million-dollar question is, why do I do it? Why do I torture my body? Why do I do it year on year? It's been 13 years that I started long-distance running, and I still love doing it. Here is the answer. When you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work at all. You will prioritize. You will weed out all the non-productive things, like, for example, binging on Netflix, late night parties. You will just completely do away with all of that because that's what you like doing. And that, my dear student, applies to everything in life, including the career that you're going to be choosing, the kind of jobs that you're going to be doing. So always keep your passion at the core of what you do. Have that reason, have that purpose as you chart your course. I'm also a practicing Buddhist, and its teachings of compassion, hope, courage, and self-empowerment, that I am alone responsible for my life, are my guiding principles. And from those learnings, I will just share with you one, which is that you are the protagonists of your life. You are the writers of your life script. So you choose what you want to do. You will have your parents, your elders, your teachers, they will tell you what to do. They'll give you a lot of gyan on what's right, what's wrong. But what I'm going to tell you is that you're not here to live our life. You're not here to live my life or the lives of the famous alumni. You're here to live your life. And so, write your own life script. Remember that life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And by the way, Usain Bolt is GOAT. He is just way beyond all of us. But still, when you start looking at life, it's a marathon. So pace it well. Look after yourself, especially the mental well-being, very important. Don't give up. If you feel disheartened, that's fine. Pick yourself up again. And have fun doing whatever you're doing. All the very best to you.